What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Tailgate Talk Show. Today I'm joined by my co-hosts, Kian and Hunter.
What's up? What's up?
What is up? We made it to week 5.
Yeah,
First
I know.
official month doing the pod.
Fucking somehow we made it this far.
Somehow. Today we're going over the top 25 players who are under 25.
Hell yeah.
So I'm going to be starting us off here. And at 25, we have Trey Smith, 24 years old, offensive lineman. Hunter, let's hear that lineman analytics here.
From the Kansas City Chiefs, absolute mauler, malicious with his hands again.
Wow, bro.
He's if Trent Williams was playing fucking guard, that's him. Okay, hold on, cut that. So, fuck.
Okay, I'm going to be starting us off here today. In the number 25 spot, we have Trey Smith, 24. He's a guard from Kansas City. He's amazing in the run game, really good, run blocker. He's a mauler, and as Hunter would like to say, he's malicious with his hands.
Oh my god, we're not starting this already.
Okay, here we go.
Are we starting this already?
We just got to throw, a little sneak diss.
I was going to try to be good today, but I mean, if Tony wants to bring that out in me, then
that's crazy.
I don't know.
That's actually fucking crazy.
See. But Trey Smith, elite guard, amazing puller. There's a bunch of clips I see, especially that one I think was against the Ravens or the Vikings, I think, where he pulled for that linebacker, actually killed them. Just overall good in the run game. And in the 24 spot, I got T. Higgins. He is 25 years old, so just barely made the list. T. Higgins has been overshadowed by Jamar Chase's entire career. And whether he stays in Cincy or not, I don't know. I think he could be a true number one in most offenses around the league.
You think?
I think so.
I think he fits the bill.
Don't have that stud number one.
I think he fits the bill as that wide receiver too, easily. Like most places he goes.
He's one of the best. He's top 3, I think top 2 wide receiver 2s in the league.
That's what I'm saying. I think he fits that bill a little bit better.
Yeah. But if he did go to a team that didn't have a wideout, I think he'd be able to fill that number 1 role very easy.
Yeah. Like you said, though, he's been overshadowed by Jamar his entire career. Yeah. So he's only been a wide receiver 2 his entire career. So it makes sense that we think that way.
That's why I have T. Higgins at 24. Well, we have T. Higgins at 24 and no higher on the list because he's been overshadowed. And he's got the production, but he doesn't have the production to beat out some of these other guys that are higher than him.
Yeah, I agree. But moving on to 23, you guys stuck me with one of the worst fucking picks for me as a Cowboys fan.
Rent free.
Yeah, this guy lives rent free in my head. It's quarterback Jordan Love. I like to call him the light-skinned Aaron Rodgers. Bro's a baller. I mean, I can't really deny it. He's a GOAT already. Not a GOAT, but he's Packers legend already. Bro's just producing out the fucking ass with, half the team that Rodgers has had in years prior. But Jordan Love, he's a baller. Deserves to be here, even though I don't want him here. I'm sorry if this sounds scripted. It kind of is, because I don't want to talk about this guy any longer than I have to. So, moving on to 22. Fuck that guy.
No. Let me get some.
No. What a fucking hater, dude.
Listen, Jordan Love at 23, personally, because, all of us make this list. If it was up to me, I would have him higher. I really like Jordan Love, and I'm not even that big. Like, I don't really like the Packers like that. But I think he is a great quarterback. He got to learn, sit there behind Rodgers. And I mean, that's one of the best guys you could ever, ask to sit behind and have to be your mentor. So, and for what he did and what his first year starting, amazing. Go on the road in Dallas and, no offense, crush them.
All right, really?
Sorry, I'm sorry. It's the truth, though. He went out there and he played amazing.
He did play amazing. I can't even deny it. He's a baller, but it's kind of painful. I can't lie.
And Packers fans, you got to be probably the luckiest fans I think I've ever seen.
Yeah, I know. It's so annoying.
Elite quarterbacks in a row. Well, possible. I think Jordan Love has all the tangibles to possibly be an elite quarterback in the league because he sat for 2 or 3 years. I think it was 2. He sat for 2
Two.
years behind Rodgers, and at the time when they drafted him, everybody was skeptical. I was like, me specifically, I was like,
Yeah.
I was like, why would you do that? But it's turning out good for you guys. He sat, and now he's got his time to shine, and he shined on the biggest stage against Dallas in the playoffs. Loved seeing that, just for the Eagles to get bounced the next day. Yeah, me and Keenan were going at it that week, but we can move on.
Moving on here.
We're like two dogs that already got like kicked out of Vic's ring. Just going at it on the outside.
Out of Vic's ring. Damn. Anyways, moving on to 22 here. We have Trevor Lawrence, 24 years old, quarterback for the Jags. Now, I mean, he was decent last year, and then the Jags had that entire fall off.
Yeah,
But I still think Trevor Lawrence is a great quarterback.
I will never forget. They went from playing for the first seed in the AFC to trying to even make the playoffs.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah.
Like, I think it was like, I remember it was like a Thursday night game against the Bengals. And if they won that game, they would have been first in the AFC. I want to say it was like mid-season, maybe around like week 10 or so. And literally, I saw the stat line. I was at work. We had the game on. And they were playing for the number 1 seed in the AFC because the Chiefs had kind of a rocky start to the season. The Bengals were playing kind of shitty like they always do in the first few weeks, and they were trying to bounce back. The Bills were having a shaky start to the season. Like, there was a lot of teams in the AFC that were very, very mid at the beginning of the season, but the Jags were not one of them. They started like 7-1 or something. They started with like a really, really good record. So, I mean, the fall off needs to be studied. Trevor Lawrence is a dog, though. I think
he is a dog.
He's got the tools.
The second biggest fall off besides the Eagles.
All right.
Yeah, that
love to see that. Love to see that.
For my head. Yeah.
Yeah. So does Dallas. It's okay.
But Trevor Lawrence overall, I think he's good. But last year wasn't like I feel like now they're starting to question, especially the fans, because I see it under a lot of posts. They're starting to question him whether if he could take the team to the next step, as he was drafted to do, obviously at number 1 overall.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of quarterbacks bust. He's not even close to a bust. But I think they're questioning more of the ability to be there in big games and big situations, and we don't know if it's there yet.
Yeah, I think
for Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah,
I mean, he did lead that 27-0 comeback.
He did against the Chargers.
He definitely rose.
That's the Chargers, though. Mm-hmm. That's the Chargers. I mean, you need to be able to do that.
Who you're playing? I don't give a fuck who you're playing. You're down 27-0.
Yeah,
27-0. 27-0. All right, we had this debate a couple days ago, right? If your defense is giving up 4 second half touchdowns, that's on your defense.
Yeah,
you shouldn't need to do any more than that. 27 points in the first half. You shouldn't need to do any more. You should win the football game. Run the clock down.
100%. But all I'm saying is Trevor Lawrence did lead that comeback. Their defense locked down the Chargers in the second half, and he led that offense down to an amazing second half and to win that game.
Yeah. It was impressive, for sure.
Agreed. And he's only 24, so he's got a lot of time.
Yeah, for sure. He's got plenty of time, as with everyone on this list.
So moving on to 21, I get my guy, Devontae Smith. Him and T. Higgins, I think, are number 1. Not even number 1, number 2. 1A, 1B for best second wideouts in the NFL. Same thing. He's overshadowed by A.J. Brown with a lot of the targets that A.J. Brown demands, which he does demand targets. He still puts up numbers. And when A.J. Brown's out, he shown he can be that number 1 guy. Having over, I think it was like 160 yards against Washington. Had a phenomenal game. And he has that it factor. He can be that guy. And that's why I have him at 21. He's 25 years old, just barely making the list, but that's what I got with him.
Yeah, I think Devontae's a stud. He was probably my only receiver in fantasy last year that actually did something. So, I mean, kudos to him. They really do have probably one of the best, at least top 5 wide receiver rooms in the NFL. Now they got Barkley, who can do it all. So they're just adding to that receiver room. They're adding to that run game.
Yeah,
Philly's
he's a
gonna
game
be
changer
dangerous.
for sure.
Yeah,
Philly's going to be
100%.
dangerous. But Devonta, stud. Absolute stud. I really like him. And I don't like a lot of Eagles players, but Devonta is a stud. And I love Barkley as a Penn State guy. I'm kind of sad that he went to the Eagles. But hey, all's well that ends well. Moving on to number 20, Kyle Hamilton, safety for the Baltimore Ravens. He's only 22 years old. He was a rookie, last year? Or was he this year?
It was either last year or 2 years ago. I can't fully remember, honestly.
I think it was last year, but he's a stud. He's
2 years ago.
2 years
2 years
ago.
ago, he was a rookie.
Okay.
Yeah, he was in the same draft class as
Jordan Davis.
I'm pretty sure.
He was picked right after Jordan Davis was. That was 2 years ago.
Okay. Yeah. But Kyle Hamilton, he's a baller. The Baltimore
100%.
secondary, they got significantly better adding him, and he's only gotten better since he's been in the NFL. He's really adjusted to the game like at the highest level exceptionally. Honestly, he's a stud. I wish the Cowboys had a guy like him, but we have bums like Trayvon Diggs, so happens, and
That King would cut.
you can't win them all.
That King would cut over $11 million.
I would fuck that guy. But
Yeah, no, Kyle Hamilton. I thought we were going to draft him. I was pissed we didn't draft him. I knew that he was going to be the guy, and he went to Baltimore, and he fits that situation perfect. Box safety, can cover tight ends easily, no issues at all, and he's only gotten better, and he's only 22, so he's on the real young side of it.
yeah,
He's going to be a star for a while.
he's one of those like Kyle Pitts-esque players. He's like drafted super early out of college and has just developed really well. Even though Kyle Pitts' production hasn't been there yet, I think we're gonna see that turnaround as well.
Moving on. At 19, we have Jalen Johnson, corner. He's 24 years old. And I mean, this guy, he's a great corner. But 19, I feel like, the right spot for him. There's a couple other corners on this list who I think are just way better. Not even a debate. But, he's still a great corner. He's still going to lock you down, more than likely lock down your wide receiver ones.
Yeah, and he's 24, so he's got.
And he just signed a
Plenty of
big
time.
deal. He signed a 3-year deal.
Yeah, he did get extended with
So he's staying with the
the
Bears for a while.
Chicago Bears. So their corner situation is only looking up from here. Chicago's. I mean, we talked about it last year. Their futures last week, and their future's looking good. And I think Jalen Johnson is a big part of that.
And he is. I mean, he fits the scheme. His thing is a scheme. What the Bears do on Eberflus has that defense set up nice. He's a defensive mind, and I think that's why. I'm not saying that's why. That's a big part and the reason why Jalen Johnson was so productive last year, and it fits him well.
Yeah, I agree.
So moving on to 18, I got Tony's guy. We got Garrett Wilson, wide receiver from the Jets. Garrett Wilson is that guy despite quarterback play. He's had to deal with Zach Wilson. He played with Strevler, right?
Trevor
Chris
Siemian.
Strevler.
Yep, Chris
Trevor Siemian. He's went through a whole carousel of
Boyle.
quarterbacks and hasn't had a good situation. But this year, Rodgers hopefully stays healthy. Hopefully he stays healthy. Never know with the MetLife turf, but he's gonna keep doing what he hit 1,000 yards last year, didn't he?
Back-to-back 1,000-yard seasons with those fucking quarterbacks.
Yeah, you
That's
can't ask for anything more out of him.
no, that's impressive. And we said it last week as well. Those Ohio State receivers are just
Yeah.
There's something about him.
they're just
Something about
different. Like for whatever reason, whatever they do at Ohio State for those receivers is just not right. Like there has to be like something that they're doing differently. They're all studs, all of them, and it's crazy. It's crazy. But Garrett Wilson, I love this guy. Garrett Wilson, he was my first round pick, I believe, in fantasy, and then I traded him, so I didn't get to see the benefits of my pick, but I got a bag out of him, so I'm not even worried. And he had a great year. I would have loved to see him.
Yeah,
on the
no, I'm
team.
excited to see him with Rodgers, and especially if they're able to get another weapon in there. I know they got Mike Williams. I know they got Brees Hall. If they can get one more guy to open him up, so that way he's not being doubled constantly, I think he
He's about to have a
skyrockets.
crazy year. Yeah.
Crazier.
Yeah. I could easily see him being top 5 in the league. Easily. He's got the talent to do it. And if he has a healthy quarterback in Rodgers and his quarterback play is good, then easily I could see him 1,400, 1,500 yards receiving. Easily. But,
he's
we'll just have to
an
wait and
amazing
see.
player.
We'll just have to wait and see. But moving on to 17, we got Andrew Thomas. And honestly, I thought this guy was a bust. He had a terrible first year. Giants fans all over the world were in shambles seeing this guy play in his first year. And then something just switched. This guy just became a top 5 pass blocker in the league. Became something changed with Andrew Thomas, and he just became elite. And I don't know if that's just fate and luck having the Giants back, or if that's just Andrew Thomas got like a stern talking to, like either shape up or ship out because you're a rookie, like we can afford to lose you. But bro's elite. And honestly, there's no debating that. There is a handful of linemen in this league who are better than Andrew Thomas, and it's not many of them. It's a very small handful, and some of which are on this list. But Andrew Thomas, a real diamond in the rough for the Giants after a whole season of really not producing for them whatsoever. I mean, just playing horribly. His rookie highlights are
so bad.
His rookie highlights are terrible, like actually terrible. And I thought that was it. I was like, we're gonna eat against this guy. We're gonna absolutely tear Danny Dimes a new one with this guy if he's on the field. And then we didn't.
Yeah.
So he just got better.
Yeah, bro,
He's just very athletic. I mean, his rookie year was in shambles. The dude was letting up pressures, quarterback hits, worst case scenario, sacks, left and right every single game, week in, week out. And his biggest jump, yes, he made a big jump first year to second year, but his biggest jump was second year into third year. That's where his third year was when he played at his highest level and continued to do that up until now. And he's just gotten 10 times better. And the Giants, with their offensive line, they got Evan Neal. He hasn't done anything to take that jump like he did. Nobody else really stepped up to the plate like Andrew Thomas did. He's the only piece to that line that they unfortunately now have to build around. And he's just good now.
Yeah.
And I mean, I think people forget, like, that transition from college into the NFL is hard. I mean, some of these guys make it look easy, but it really is hard. Sometimes, it takes a year or two just to get things going.
It's
longer
funny.
than that sometimes.
The age-old debate, would the worst team in the NFL lose to the best team in college? You have to remember, when you're talking about the NFL, every single person, even bench players, were taken out of college because they were exceedingly special in college. They were the best, if not of the best, on their college teams. In college, you're not playing against that every week. You can have a team who has no NFL prospects, week in, week out. Or you could play against a team like Alabama, whose recruiting is just out of this world, and they have 15 NFL prospects every year. So, like, it's just not even a debate. And Andrew Thomas completely turned around his play. It was seriously impressive. And I'm a Cowboys fan, Hunter's an Eagles fan, and this guy's a Giant. We'll both tell you, this guy's special and absolutely deserves to be here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 100%. Moving on, though, from Andrew Thomas, at number 16, we have Bijan Robinson. Now, potential-wise, but he is 21, by the way. I forgot to say that. So he's
youngest of the group.
Insanely young.
Super young.
Potential-wise, he'd be like top 10 on this list. But
Top 5.
His production so far, thanks to Arthur Smith, has not been like what everyone thought it was, but it's going to be because when he did get his chances and they weren't just like doing whatever the fuck they were deciding to do with him,
He's
he played
special.
amazing.
He's
Yeah.
special.
Yeah, he's a highlight machine.
Honestly,
Yeah.
I think he should be a little higher on this list, but the only reason that he's not is because he played one season. He's just not established
Under
yet.
Arthur Smith specifically.
Yeah.
Exactly. So he could be a lot higher next season if the production is there still or is better, which I think it will be. But he just needs to establish himself a little bit more.
Yeah, like I think
he's
next
going to do
year,
it this year.
honestly, put him top
Yeah,
10,
I don't have any doubts. Bijan is going to be special. Absolutely.
100%.
So moving on from Bijan, I hate talking about the Giants, dude. Why is there so many fucking Giants in this list? No fucking hater,
Jordan
dude.
Love.
Number 15, we are.
We've had two so far.
Yeah, I
If
know. I
anybody
just
anybody
dread
was
talking
counting.
about it, dude. Like I don't like talking good about them. At number 15, we got Brian Burns, who just made the list. He's 25 years old. Was a dog in Carolina all the way through his career, and just now got shipped to the Giants
For a bag of
and-
chips.
for a bag of chips. The Giants fleeced. And he is now paired up with Kayvon Thibodeau and Dexter Lawrence on that defensive line, which is the only bright point of that team.
Scary.
But Brian Burns himself, he's another athletic freak. He's a physical specimen and
Malicious with his hands.
malicious with his hands. No,
Number
he
3, by the way.
he turns offensive linemen into turntables. He just fast as hell, and he can catch the edge. Fuck, I don't even know what to say.
Bro is struggling to get
Yeah,
out
I'm
good
struggling.
things about the Giants.
Yeah,
Brian Burns is a freak of nature, though. That's all that needs to
Yeah,
be
he
said.
is.
He's going to be something special no matter where he plays. He's going to put pressure on the quarterback no matter where he plays. He was in Carolina,
Yeah,
and now
Jalen
he's in the Giants organization, and both places are very, very down bad right now. So we'll see what his production's like in New York. But
Yeah.
for the
I mean,
worst team
Brian
in the
Burns-
NFL, he still had production, which is pretty impressive.
Yeah. I mean, Brian Burns, he's going to have Jalen Hurts running fucking around scared for his life. And he's going to have fucking Dak shaking in his cowboy boots.
He's gonna
And,
no,
yeah,
he's
it's a win
gonna
to you guys.
he's gonna have Dak just not
just shaking his
Doing-
cowboy boots.
you know, Dak shakes in his cowboy boots lining up across from Mozzie Smith in the fucking practice squad. Come on now. Like, let's be honest. But anyways, we're gonna move on because, like Hunter, I can't stand to talk about the Giants anymore. And honestly, the Cowboys are just depressing me, so I don't want to talk about them either.
no fucking hater,
Jordan
dude.
Love.
But
You're going to talk about a better player.
what
Yeah.
doesn't depress me is this next guy on this list. And I think Tony will agree because he's a Jet. 22-year-old Breece Hall. This guy, honestly, if I was personally
This
making
guy.
a list, I would put him at least like 5 spots above where he is right now. He's at 14, which I think is well deserved. But this guy is just unbelievable. He is fast, he is physical, he is shifty and elusive. He's got all the right traits you need for a running back. He can get involved with the pass game. He can run through you. He can run around you. He can put you on the ground, spit in your mouth. Pause. Wait.
What?
I was making a reference to what you said all right, never mind. You know what? Breece Hall's a GOAT. He's going to be special. And the fact that he's only 22 is just unbelievable. He is the second youngest guy on this list. And both of the young bucks on this list are special. And I think Breece Hall is going to be one of, if not the best running backs in Jets history if he can keep what he's doing up.
And as of right now, he's one of the best backs in the league right now. His
I agree.
production has been, as long as he's on the field, his production's always there.
And he can do it
Doesn't
all.
matter. And doesn't matter if he's like splitting snaps or whatever, if he's off the field of injury, whatever it is, he always seems to produce whenever given the chance to produce. Whenever the ball's in his hands, he does something special. Specifically, I'm talking about the tragic day where he tore his ACL against the Broncos and ran for a 60-yard touchdown. I just traded for him
That
week
way.
4, and yeah, I was upset.
Tragic.
I lost him for the season. Yeah.
Absolutely tragic. It's the
I
Hunter
mean-
curse.
Yeah, it really is. But here's the thing with Brees is honestly should have been considered for comeback player of the year last year. I mean, to come off an ACL tear the way he did, and
Oh yeah, bounce back like
wasn't
he
even
never
like-
was hurt.
yeah. And I mean, I think it was like week 1 against the Bills. They were still like slowly putting him back in. But every time that dude touched the ball that game, he was just breaking runs, 10 yards, 15, 20, you know. Then I think he had like a 40, 50-yard run at one point in the game. And I mean, that was a big reason why the Jets won that game because he was able to set him up. And, you know, and like the Jets offense, you know, obviously they lost Aaron Rodgers that game. So it was like, oh shit,
Yeah.
well, looks like we're going to the run game tonight.
Brees is just something special, man. I would kill to have a running back like Brees in the backfield. We had Tony Pollard, we had Zeke, but like half,
He was good.
if not less than half of the player. Prime Zeke was
Yeah,
rookie
well,
year.
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Rookie year. I would take Prime Zeke over a lot of running backs, but he just didn't produce after. Like production just steadily went down, and that's what we are not seeing with Brees. Like, yeah, he tore his ACL last year. His production was minimal, but he was hurt.
Yeah.
This year, he eclipsed 1,000 yards, did he?
I think he was just under.
Yeah.
Was he
that was-
just? He was just shy, right?
Just shy, but he did.
Thanks, Dalvin Cook.
Yeah.
No, for real.
Well, that
Dalvin
and they were
Cook.
just like also like slowly, you know, like bringing him back in
Yeah,
from
but
that ACL. But he did have over 1,000 all-purpose yards with the receiving.
if he's coming off of an ACL tear like that, still almost getting 1,000 yards, that's impressive. And he had 1,000 all-purpose because, like I said, he can do it all. He's like a mini receiver out of the backfield. He's like one of those fucking Christian McCaffreys who can just do it all, and that's insane.
Absolutely.
Yeah. At 13, though, we have Aiden Hutchinson, 23 years old, edge rusher on the Lions. I mean, he's a fucking beast. Really, no other way to put it, honestly.
Yeah,
I mean, he's a
I'm
huge part of that
terrified of bro.
Lions defense. You're terrified of him?
I would be terrified of bro.
Oh yeah, 100%. But no, he is a beast. I mean, he immediately just stepped into the league and was like, "Yeah, I fucking own this shit." I mean,
Made a
top
difference
10
immediately.
defense, yeah, top 10 defensive player already at 23 years old. That's insane.
And he
Yeah.
can line up anywhere. They line him
Yeah.
up 5 tech, 3 tech over the fucking center. They lined him up at corner one.
Yeah, and he got a
fucking- and
pick.
he got a pick. Dude's just a game changer no matter where he is. Put
Yeah.
this dude at free safety. Let's see it. Let's see
No,
if he
literally.
can do what Gronk couldn't do.
No, he's just different. Something about Aiden Hutchinson is just different. He is an absolute beast, no matter where he is on the field. He is literally probably, correct me if I'm wrong, right? Hot take. He is probably the best defensive player in the NFC North, other than
Yeah.
maybe Jair.
And at 12, we got a 12A, 12B situation here. We got Jonathan Taylor and Jahmyr Gibbs. I'm going to talk about JT first, and then I'll move on to Jahmyr Gibbs. Jonathan Taylor is the definition of a bell cow back. I wish he didn't get as injured nearly as much as he has, because that is tainted
So unfortunate.
the 2021 year that he had, because he had a phenomenal season. Then ever since then, just injury riddled, and he's behind a good offensive line with the Colts, and he's another back that can he could punch it in, he can go out on a swing, catch it,
Run around you.
make something happen, and JT's just that guy for the Colts, and the only concern with him is he's got to be healthy.
Yeah.
And he's 25, so he just signed a 3-year deal with the Colts, so he's there for a while, which is a good situation with him. And Zach Moss just left, so he's gonna have the bell cow roll back.
Yeah. Limited competition will be good for him, but
Mhm.
it's a double-edged sword too, because injury
Yeah.
prone, he could, face more carries, more more production, but that's also where he can get hurt as well. He's tired on the field. He can make a mistake and, either cough up the ball or he can take a tough hit. He's on the field more and maybe he gets hurt that way.
Mm-hmm. And at 12B, Jahmyr Gibbs, 22, electric. That is the one word I would use to describe Jahmyr Gibbs. He's more of a receiving back. He splits time with David Montgomery. And he takes the receiving role in that backfield with the Lions. What?
I said that will change soon.
Yeah, that'll change real soon. Because Jahmyr Gibbs, same thing. He is a lot like Breece Hall is, and I could see it. The only thing, I feel like Jahmyr Gibbs can literally line up in the slot if they put him there and use him as a receiver.
Yeah.
I think he's that good at receiving the ball.
Yeah.
No matter if it's a screen, he's electric with the ball in his hands. He's just a playmaker. I wouldn't even. This is if he wanted to, and if the coaches wanted to, put him in a Debo role. Seriously, he could seriously do it.
Hunter loves trying to put guys into the Debo role.
The Debo role is crazy.
It's because he started something that we've never seen before. Right. You know what I mean? So,
and honestly, I agree though. His hands are like glue. You throw the ball, he catches the ball every time.
Why are his hands glue?
What does glue do, Hunter?
You tell me.
It sticks. He's trying to get my sus counter to go up, and I refuse.
I'm trying. He's not biting. But Jahmyr Gibbs is that guy. He's electric. And I would love to see him with a full role with David Montgomery sitting at second back without stealing touchdowns away from him. But that's 12A, 12B.
Yeah, honestly, we couldn't really decide here.
Yeah.
It was just... There's so many good players, and we didn't want to leave anyone off, but we also had 26 guys. So it was like, all right, let's just do an A and B kind of situation. But whatever. Moving on. Number 11, we got Pat Surtain. Pat Surtain, right? I feel like, and I was just having this debate earlier. By the way. The second, yes. Pat Surtain the second. I was just having this debate with these boys, like maybe an hour before the pod. It was like him and Sauce. I feel like Pat Surtain's production is overshadowed by the fact that the Broncos defense is good in other ways. Like, I don't know. Their run defense is stellar. Their interior, exterior defensive line, stellar. Linebackers, good. I feel like Pat Surtain is overshadowed by how good the Broncos defense really is. So, in another way, Sauce is like up here. Surtain's like here. I'm out of the camera right now. But I don't know. I'm trying to explain this best as I can. It probably sounds really dumb. But for some reason, I feel like Pat Surtain, excellent player, by the way, is just overshadowed by a lot of things. And that's why we have him a little lower than Sauce. But still excellent players either way. We'll see where Sauce ends up. But I don't know. Anybody else have any thoughts? I kind of sound like a
I agree with the fact, because when we were comparing, Sauce Gardner is just that guy. When we compared the stats, when we compared the analytics, everything was in Sauce's favor. Because we didn't really know much about Pat Surtain, not going to lie. We had to look into it a little bit. But after looking into it, like, Surtain's stats is there.
Oh, yeah.
He's good.
They're great.
I don't agree with the Broncos. Didn't they literally get blown out like 70 to fucking nothing? 70 to 20 by the Dolphins?
Yes.
I was thinking about that.
Horrible. That defense was absolutely atrocious. They have no pass rush. The only thing they have is that game.
I mean, in years past, the Broncos defense was among the best in the league. Like, other than last year, the past like 3 years before that, they were one of the best defense in the league.
That was when they had Vic, though.
Vic Fangio?
Yeah.
Right. That's what I'm talking about. Like last year,
that was way back.
We can forget about that. But like 2020 to like 2022, their defense was still top 3, top 5 in the league.
Yeah, but now they have no pass rush. They have decent linebacker. I like their linebackers.
And that's what
And they
I'm
got Patrick
saying.
King.
Like overshadowed. Their defense was good, and now he was the bright spot on their defense last year, and it still wasn't enough.
Yeah. Well, that's why we have him at 11, and we put Sauce higher up on the list.
Right. I don't know. I probably sounded really, really like stumbly trying to explain that. Like I had a clear thought in my head that I was trying to explain, but it just wasn't really.
The words weren't
Yeah,
there.
it did not come out right.
No, it was not. Yeah, whatever. It's okay.
Yeah.
Honestly,
I mean, Pat Surtain, baller, but we're getting into the top 10 now. At number 10, we had Creed Humphrey, 24 years old. And now you got to think, with Jason Kelsey retired, he is now the best center in football. And I don't really think there's a debate.
With no contest.
Yeah. Yeah.
No
His
contest.
pass protection is like the elite of the elite.
yeah.
Like one of the best pass protectors.
And it has been since he's stepped foot on Arrowhead.
Yeah, as soon as he got to Arrowhead, he was a top 3 center, and they hit because he was drafted lower. I think he was drafted at like 30 or some shit like that.
Yeah.
And I don't know how nobody else grasped onto what he could be. The Chiefs saw some, they took him, and never looked back. And honestly, I wouldn't either, because Creed Humphrey is that guy. He's the best overall center in football, besides maybe Frank Ragnow.
Yeah.
But as of right now, with Kelsey gone, he's the best center in football.
Yeah. I agree. I think Creed is excellent. And for the line that the Chiefs have, I think he just fits the bill.
Now moving on to number 9. We got Penei Sewell. He is only 23 years old. And if it wasn't for Trent Williams, I think Penei would be the best overall lineman, not only in the list, but in the league, if it wasn't for Trent Williams. He is a stud right tackle that has been a stud since he got to Detroit. And there's a lot of lines on this list, actually, now that I'm thinking about it.
Yeah, there is.
There is a lot of lines on this list. But
young talent is there.
Best right tackle in the league by far. And I'm saying that over Lane Johnson, unfortunately. If it was 2 years ago, I would say no. Lane Johnson's got him. But the last 2 years, specifically, Penei Sewell has been top of his game. He is elite run blocker, opens up gaps for the running back like crazy. And he perfected the craft of pass pro. That was his thing coming out of college, because we knew he was going to be a stellar run blocker. But he perfected his craft in pass pro, and now that, in my eyes, makes him the best lineman. Not on this list, but I was second best in the league, but best so far on this list.
Yeah.
Yeah. I agree, honestly. He is just excellent in every way possible that a lineman can be good. He is excellent in those categories. Pass protection, run protection, just everything that you want.
He's just a force.
And he is not just good, but great at everything. But speaking of players who are good, or great, rather, at everything, we're going to talk about the next top 8 players. These guys, there is little to no debate that these guys are generational talents. We're going to start it off at number 8 with Sauce Gardner, cornerback from the New York Jets. We were looking at his stats. My jaw dropped. I knew he was good, but I did not know he was this good. In his career, he has allowed less than 600 total yards and less than 3 touchdowns. He's allowed a 40% completion rating. Percentage, not rating. Those are insane stats. Like, if you aren't familiar with like these stats and how they apply to corners, 40% of the balls that are thrown to Sauce's wide receiver that he's covering get there, which is not a lot compared to the rest of the league.
And it's hard enough to play corner, but Sauce
It
just
is.
does it at an
And
extreme level.
especially it's hard to play corner with all the PI that goes on in the league nowadays. You get called for everything, and those
Mhm.
yards count against you. So it's like allowing less than 600 yards, less than he's allowed 2 touchdowns in his entire career.
Yeah, that's insane.
I don't
And
think either of
Tony,
them
I
were
granted it's been
man-to-man.
2 years. Granted it's been 2 years, but that's 34 games. 2 touchdowns in 34 games.
Yeah, that's insane.
That's insane. And Tony will tell you that those 2 touchdowns are probably when he was in zone coverage. It wasn't.
Yeah,
on the
I don't think he's given up a man-to-man touchdown at all.
And that was his big thing in college too. He hasn't throughout his whole collegiate career. He's never allowed a touchdown at Cincinnati.
That's insane. Just insane.
Definition of lockdown.
Yeah,
Literally, the
genuinely-
definition of lockdown.
Genuinely, probably the best corner in football.
Yeah.
I don't think there's much competition.
I don't really like to speak, because a little bias here, but
Let's hear it though. I mean, come on, defend
I feel
your
like we're
guy.
saying, hasn't allowed a man-to-man touchdown. I mean,
Insane.
everyone makes me so mad because everyone's like, "Oh, he's a holding merchant. He's a holding merchant." No, he's fucking not. It's called defense. He knows what's legal and what's not legal, and that's what separates him from the other corners in the game. That's what makes him so elite, and that's why he's locking down your favorite wide receiver. And that is why.
That's beautiful.
He is on his fucking Darrell Revis Island type of shit.
Talk your shit, twin.
I'm talking it. No, Sauce Gardner, best corner in the league, not up for debate. Go debate with the fucking wall. I don't care.
Except for CeeDee Lamb, finished with 11 receptions, 143 yards against the Jets. Week 3. Sorry.
Yes.
Had to do it.
Yeah, here's the thing. It's really funny because Dak
CD
was,
plays in
one
the
of
slot, though.
He does. He does. We were just playing with
Yeah.
DJ Reed.
Hey, DJ Reed decent too, all right? Don't disrespect my man DJ Reed.
Yeah, that's okay.
But moving on from my boy Sauce, we're going to number 7. The highest rated quarterback on this list is CJ Stroud.
No,
I'm a huge CJ
not
Stroud
yet.
fan.
Not quite
Not
yet.
yet.
Not quite yet, brother. There's one more.
I missed it.
There's one more.
Yeah, what? My favorite quarterback on this list. Let me rephrase
Hunter would have
that.
had an aneurysm if he was the highest.
Yeah, he probably would have. But 23 years old, CJ Stroud. I mean, he just took a fucking, like, what was it? A 2-win Texans team
3-13.
to, yeah, 3-13 to a playoff win. Pretty sure.
Yep.
And that was
They
just his rookie year.
They beat the
And now
Browns.
he just got weapons in Joe Mixon and Stephon Diggs. Well, he
Yeah.
already had Nico Collins and Tank Dell.
And Dalton
that's
Schultz.
scary.
Don't sleep on Dalton Schultz.
Dalton Schultz.
Cowboys
Dalton
legend.
Schultz. But that is that's honestly, in my opinion, a top 5 offense in
Yeah.
the league, and it's scary.
And
It's
CJ
pretty
Stroud was a
scary.
rookie last year. He's only going to get better, which
Yeah.
is even more scary. But
And like we said, like, we've been going for production over potential, but for what he did in his first year, he produced. So it's like he's easily just a top 10 player.
He was the lead of possibly the fastest rebuild we've ever seen.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's a big reason why he's up here this high.
Panthers fans are crying.
I know. I kind of feel
Right.
bad for him.
Do you think Bryce Young, though, hot question. Do you think Bryce Young would have had the same success if he was drafted by the Texans?
No.
No, I don't think so. I think he would have done. I think it would have been good. I don't think he would have been viewed as a bust or anything if he got drafted there.
Right.
But I don't think he put up
He'd
CJ's
definitely be
numbers.
better.
Yeah,
but-
that's what I don't think he puts up CJ's numbers.
Yeah. I've always liked Stroud more than Young, either way, even
Yeah.
before the draft and everything.
Something about those Alabama quarterbacks. Just off.
Yeah.
Weird.
Well, other than one. But
All right, buddy. 1 out of like 10
no, I
is
know,
a
yeah,
bad
man,
ratio.
I
Like,
mean, 2 is not bad, but 2 is just like
yeah, 2 is mid. 2 is like Miami's version of Dak Prescott. They're like, how can we get Dak Prescott?
Yeah, honestly, that's
And then
a
they
great
drafted Tua.
comparison.
Yeah,
And
that's a
they
great
drafted
comparison.
Tua.
I like that. So moving on, we're going to number 6, where we have another Lion. We have Amon-Ra St. Brown, who is 24 years old.
Bro's
Huge
different.
slot guy.
Bro's different.
He commands at least 10 targets a game.
Easily.
And what he does, there are games where he has 14 catches. Tony knows that's his dynasty wide receiver one.
That's my wide receiver one right there.
That's his guy. Amon-Ra St. Brown is just different. His ability to get open is out of this world. He's shaking everybody left and right, and since he's in the slot, it makes it that much easier because you got
only
safeties and linebackers or whatever else on
receivers. There's only a couple receivers who are as good as just shaking the defender off as Amon-Ra, and I would say 3 of them are above him on this list.
And
there's
only one other receiver on this list that I think does better than Amon-Ra, but that's up for debate. We'll see coming up here soon. Yeah. But Amon-Ra is a dog, shakes everybody. There's never a point where he's not open. Not because he's open when he's not. It's because he's just always open.
Yeah.
Consistently.
And even if he's got a guy on him, he can still go out there and make a fucking catch.
Yeah. I really like Amon-Ra. Ever since he was in the league, he's just been a stud. And he's just produced. And that's all you can ask for in a wide receiver. And in a league dynamic now that we have with so many good wide receivers, it's really, really hard to stand out as the best. And these 4 next receivers, including Amon-Ra, there's just...
at the top of the game.
Yeah, there's just no debate. They're all special. But anyways, we're going to move to 5, who is not a receiver. The next 2 are not receivers. Top 3 are all receivers. I got Jalen Hurts. Now, listen. Jalen Hurts is my fantasy quarterback.
Boy.
He is my fantasy quarterback number 1. I love Jalen Hurts, and that is painstaking for me as a Cowboys fan to say. But I love Jalen Hurts. The way he plays is phenomenal. You can argue all day, bro, through 15 picks, he had a down season. He had 1 down season, right? Hunter was pointing out earlier, he still had, 600-700 rushing yards. He had 4,300 all-purpose yards.
If you consider his down season having 29 touchdowns and 4,000 yards, if you consider that a down year, it's a down year. Whatever, it's still a phenomenal down year.
Yeah, he had how many rushing touchdowns? 14 or 15?
Yeah, 14, 15.
And then he had
that. So added on to those 29.
I want to say he had 23 passing touchdowns. So that's still a 40 touchdown season. That's just unheard of. He is truly what you want in a dual threat quarterback.
Yeah.
He is the definition. He's the walking epitome of a dual threat quarterback. He just does it all. And honestly, as a Cowboys fan, it hurts to say, but
I know, and I'm loving hearing you say everything that you've been saying.
I thought he was going to start bitching and complaining, but
I know.
No,
I like that a lot. But Jalen Hurts, what I like the most is he is so clutch when he is playing from behind. I have never seen anything like this watching the Eagles since I've been watching the Eagles. It's insane. Whenever he's down, he just...
Well,
it's lock in. You know what I mean? Literally, it's
bro speaks in Instagram captions,
and that's fine. I'll take that all day. If he wins, he wins, and he is good at winning.
Fair, honestly, fair.
What do you mean? Well, let's hear it, Tom. What do you mean? Well,
if we're talking about in the clutch, if I can remember a big third down and 9 play.
Hurts facing a 4-man rush over the middle. It's intercepted. Picked off by Tony Adams. Adams on the run. Breaking tackles. Tossed down inside the 10.
Oh, yeah.
Jalen
he also had the second best Super Bowl performance of any quarterback.
I know. I'm fucking with you.
Yeah, I know. That's what I thought.
But yeah, Jalen Hurts.
Let's sit back down.
And I mean, Hunter sat down.
Intercepted.
Yeah.
Tony Adams.
Tony Adams takes it back to the 5.
Yeah, whatever.
And then then Jalen Hurts did have a chance to win that football game. And I think it went something like incompletion, completion for a yard, and then incompletion.
A quarterback draw. Thanks, Brian Johnson. You're the reason I have to deal with the shit right now.
It was just 4 straight quarterback draws, actually.
Moving
on to our list, though.
Love seeing
another one of your guys here.
Tony, you better get me good with this.
I got you. At number 4, we have 24-year-old Micah Parsons. And I mean, like, do I even have to really explain myself here? I mean, you
Yeah,
take
you do.
one look at the dude, and I'm running the other way. Because if I ever saw this dude lined up across from me on the football field, oh, I tore my ACL. Take me out the game. Dude,
Take me out the game.
that dude would straight up kill me, and he basically kills anyone who goes up against him.
And
I mean,
it's
he gets
funny.
double teamed, and he still gets free.
It's funny too, because like half the time he doesn't even have to kill people. He just runs around them because he's a fucking freak.
He is a freak in nature. He's insanely athletic. I mean, he can play virtually anywhere in that defense. Basically.
I know. Linebacker,
I mean, other than like
edge.
corner or like safety or something.
I
like
honestly
that,
wouldn't be surprised if we lined him up at corner. I wouldn't be. Like,
I saw something. Now, I don't know if this was real, but I saw something on Instagram that said they were like thinking about making him a kick returner or something.
What?
Yeah, I don't know. It was
What?
some like Cowboys page popped up on my feed, and
all
like,
right, well that's your first
What
mistake.
the
what the
fuck?
fuck? Yeah, no, I saw it.
Cowboys Instagram pages are never true.
Yeah, so
Like they said we
mean,
were getting Henry. Like, come on. They said we were getting Saquon. Like, come on. Come on,
Henry
dude.
wanted to said it would be a perfect situation, but Jerry Jones was
Jerry Jones
sleeping.
fell asleep.
Yeah, he was sleeping.
He was napping.
You know, but Micah Parsons is a beast. I mean, he got drafted initially as a linebacker, correct?
He did.
He got drafted initially as a linebacker, played a little bit of linebacker his rookie year, but he transitioned his sophomore year into defensive end officially, right?
His rookie campaign, I think
It was half and half. It was split. He was playing linebacker. Then
Lawrence. I think DeMarcus Lawrence got hurt, and we put him at an edge rusher.
Yeah. So he got drafted at linebacker. He was good when he was playing linebacker, and then he made the switch to defensive end, and they never looked back. He's another person that is just... He gives me the vibe of prime Von Miller. That's the vibe that Micah Parsons gives me.
I think he can be even better than Von Miller, to be honest with you as well.
That's
and that's saying
tough.
something because Von Miller is amazing. Had amazing career. I mean, he's still playing, but
if Parsons can stay healthy, which I mean, knock on wood, we're gonna knock on wood really hard there. If he can stay healthy, he is gonna have an exceptional career. I can already see it.
Yeah,
and it might not even be with the Cowboys because the Cowboys front office is lackluster at best. So if we let a guy like him go, I'll never forgive the Cowboys. But it may not even be with the Cowboys, but he will be a beast no matter where he goes. He could go to Carolina and put up the same numbers that he's putting up now.
100%.
But that's just the way I look at it. I love Micah Parsons, and I love that he's a Cowboys fan. I love him as a Cowboys fan is what I meant to say. And bro's just different. That's all you got to say. When you hear his name, you get a little scared. Run the other way, as Tony said.
All right. Moving on to number 3, we got Jamar Chase, who is only 24 years old. Jamar Chase had a down year last year, solely because Joe Burrow went into the season with a calf injury, played through it. Then he tore something in his thumb. It's not UCL, that's elbow. If he tore something in his thumb,
Joe Burrow's been out. Thumb.
Yeah.
So I don't even know who Jake Browning, I think, was the quarterback.
Yeah.
Jake Browning came in as quarterback, and he didn't play bad, but not nearly
Joe Burrow level.
Yeah, you're just not going to reach a Joe Burrow level. And Jamar Chase suffered from that, which is why we got him a little bit lower than the next two guys, because the next two guys are just phenomenal. But Jamar Chase is certainly that guy. He's a true number one wide receiver. He's open when he's not open. He's a guy that's going to go up and grab it. He's going to mosh somebody. He's going to break a play for 60 yards, 60 plus yards.
He's just a playmaker. He has that it factor.
Off a simple, this was way early on in his career. I think it may even been his rookie year. A simple slant, he turned into like an 80-yard touchdown.
Yeah.
Shaking people off.
He's just elusive.
Yeah, he's like that.
He's like that.
He's like that.
Jamar is him. And honestly, you could say that for the next two guys too, but starting off the top three, very strong with this guy. Jamar Chase he has that it factor. He is one of those LSU receivers, there's two in the top 3, and the other one is exceptional in his own right. But, Jamar, physical, elusive, speedy, he's got it all. And he's literally what you want in a receiver. And the next 3 guys, like I said, they all share very similar qualities in that sense.
Agreed.
But speaking of number 2, you got my guy, CeeDee Lamb. CeeDee Lamb, right? This guy is unbelievable. He can really be, he's like a chess piece. He can be, plugged and played anywhere on that offense. He can be outside. He can be slot. He can go deep and be a go up and grab it kind of receiver. He can be open when he's not open. And he can shed defenders. He can literally do it all. He is one of the best, if not the best wide receiver of last year. And that's considering a Justin Jefferson injury, of course. But CeeDee Lamb, I can't remember. I think he had 1,600 or almost 1,700 receiving yards. And he just was a stud on our offense, an absolute stud. And with phenomenal quarterback play from Dak Prescott, which is, believe me, not easy to say.
I mean, there's some games that's just
it's
really
there. If the game is meaningless or a regular season game, then he plays great. But Dak is
until playoff time rolls around, and then
Dak is terrible under pressure. Yeah, terrible
Dak
under
attack.
pressure. But CeeDee Lamb, no matter who's on him, like we said, he lit up Sauce for 150 yards.
Okay, not Sauce, buddy. Let's get a.
I'm playing. But no, CeeDee Lamb, phenomenal player. He's one of 2 players on the Cowboys that if I ever see walk, I'm going to be genuinely upset with the Cowboys front office for letting them go. Because CeeDee Lamb and Micah Parsons are 2 players that if you have on your team, you pay them whatever the fuck they want. Because they will change. They will change the game.
And he didn't go to OTAs. He didn't show up.
I know, because we won't pay him because we have no money because we're paying Trayvon Diggs. No, I'm kidding. But we have no money because we pay everyone else. Like we pay Dak like $40 million a year for him to win
I think it's 59.
One playoff game or 2 rather.
Hey, this year is your year though.
No, it's not. Stop talking.
Earlier, when we were on Amon-Ra, I said that there's one person that I think plays better in the slot, and that guy is CeeDee Lamb. He completely perfected it. CeeDee Lamb can play anywhere, don't get me wrong, but primarily as a slot receiver, CeeDee Lamb easily can get, and does get, 12 targets a game. No doubt about it, and he just perfected the craft of... How do I explain it? He is what Amon-Ra is, but he perfected it this season. Ended up being wide receiver 1 with Justin Jefferson going down and Jamar going through whatever he was going through with Joe Burrow. He was wide receiver 1 because he was able to perfect being in the slot, and scheme helps a lot too. Having Dak Prescott and the regular season Dak Prescott helps a lot.
Regular season merchant, baby.
Gotta clarify that.
Yeah. No, but CeeDee Lamb is the best slot receiver on this list and in the game in general.
Yeah. He's just different. Like I said, there's 2 players on the Cowboys that if the Cowboys front office were to let go and not pay, I would be genuinely furious. Because, like I said, when you have Micah Parsons and CeeDee Lamb on your team, you give them what they want.
Yeah.
They will produce. There is no question. You give them a max contract, and that's going to hurt our cap space, but fuck it, right? You got CeeDee Lamb on your offense. You don't need anybody else there.
Wrapping us up. Oh, sorry. I thought you were done.
No, I was going to say, as long as we have Cooper Rush, we're fine.
Oh, yeah.
Cowboys legend. Cowboys legend, Cooper Rush.
Here we go. Fuck.
Rapping what?
And to wrap it up here, obviously, I mean, I think you clicked on the video knowing number 1 is Justin Jefferson, 24 years old, undebatably the best wide receiver in the NFL. And it will be interesting to see what he does, see who his quarterback's going to be this year.
Or if he gets paid, what's he going to do? Is he going to request a trade?
Yeah.
Is he just going to walk in free agency? What's going to happen?
That's interesting.
But-
He's one of those Stephon Diggs kind of receivers. Like, I feel like he's kind of a diva. And it's funny because they're both former Viking. Well, Justin Jefferson is a Viking. But it's funny. Like, the Vikings, they draft really good receivers, but they can't get them to, like, be happy. Like, it's impossible to keep them happy for whatever reason. But Jetta's clear and cut best wide receiver in the league. I mean, like, was there any question about that?
One of the best players in the league right now.
Yeah. Like,
Not just wide out.
and he's only 24, which makes it that much more impressive that he's picked up the game that quick at this level. It's just incredible.
He's a generational guy.
Yeah. He's who you want on your team. I mean, you have like first overall fantasy draft. Who do you go to? I mean, Justin Jefferson.
Justin Jefferson.
Yeah. Come on. There's really no debate there. There was no putting him like last year. If we made this, list based on just last year, he would be significantly lower because he was hurt. And obviously you can't play when you're hurt. You can't produce. So yes, but what he's done for the Vikings, I mean, he's just different.
He better not go to the Bengals. I swear to God, if he goes to the Bengals, I'm just deleting our fantasy league.
They can't pay him.
Yeah, I really hope not.
They can't pay him.
No, they can't pay both of them.
They can't afford.
Joe Burrow.
Yeah, they can't afford that. Like someone somewhere is going to have to take a pay cut, and I guarantee you, it's not going to be Jamar or Jettis.
Yeah,
they're not going to want to.
So
respectively, though, I kind of agree. I mean, if you're at the top of your game, if you're at the top of the game, I would expect to get paid.
I feel like I want to get paid what I'm worth.
Yeah, exactly.
But I mean, that's why Tom Brady had all those great teams all those years, though. He took pay cuts. So. He got a good team around him. That's what happened.
But a lot of people aren't going to make that sacrifice, though.
No.
You know what I mean? You're only in the league for how long? Like, I think the average is like 3 years. Yeah. And a lot of people are out, so I don't blame them.
No, you want to get your pay. But, I mean, that's that, honestly. There was no debate. Justin Jefferson was always going to be number one. Is there any question? No.
No. Is there any debates? No.
No. No doubt. No debate. But anyways, guys, that's episode 5. Top 25, under 25. We hope you guys enjoyed. Leave your feedback in the comment section below. Like the video. Subscribe if you did enjoy it and want to see more. And hit that bell notification. Every Thursday, we got a new pod coming for you. New topic. Maybe a cool mini game. So if you're interested in that, let us know. And we'll see you guys in the next one.